Hey students, welcome to another week of art class. I'm so excited to be creating art with y'all. As you can see behind me, we've got a little sheet of paper of the elements of art that we've been learning about. So remember line, color, value, shape, form, texture, and space. So we're gonna be starting another drawing today based off of the elements of art, and then later this week you'll have another virtual art field trip. So I hope you enjoy, and I look forward to seeing your drawings. Continue to follow along as I've got a drawing tutorial for you for our current drawing. All right, students, as you can see, this is an example of the drawing we're gonna be doing. And so in block letters, I'll go through all the steps for you. I'll also share photos of the steps, just so you have two different formats to learn from. But we're gonna be making the word art in block letters, and then in different spaces throughout this sheet of paper, we're gonna be doing all of the elements of art. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and move that one aside. We'll come back to the example. Go ahead and grab a blank sheet of paper here. I'm gonna be doing half of the drawing with you now, and then we're gonna do the other half tomorrow, okay? So go ahead and get started. So first you're gonna write the word art in the middle, and I want you to do the best you can to draw it in block letters. I'm gonna show you how I do it. So I start to go up like it's almost a triangle, and then do a little bit of a flat line. Come back, so basically the top of a triangle, but instead of pointed, it's a flat line. Come in on each side, and then go back up to the sides and cross in with another flat line. And then you just draw a triangle in the middle for a capital A, sorry, not an R is the next one we're gonna do, a capital A in block letters. Next, we're gonna do a straight line, a curved line going part way down, and then a diagonal straight line, closing it with a flat line, diagonal on up, and then back down. And then you'll do a half circle in the middle for the R, for capital R for art. Next, a flat line there, just going up and down, straight line all the way across, another one matching that one the best you can, bringing a couple little lines in between, and then two more straight lines all the way down for our capital T. So go ahead, and always I go through this pretty quickly so that it's not a super long video for you, but please feel free to pause this at any time to take your time, okay? This will be great. Once you have drawn art, I want you to go ahead and fold your paper in half. So you're gonna take your paper and fold it this way. So starting from the A, folding it over by the T, giving a nice little crease, and then opening on up. Now this fold just helps us know where the center of our drawing is, just from right to left. And we're going to draw a couple little shapes from here. So make a little line here and a little line here, just so you know where the center is for each one. From this top line, go ahead and draw a diagonal all the way down to this corner. So the right-hand corner to center, you're gonna draw one diagonal line. It doesn't have to be perfect, just like mine's not perfect, but if you want it to be nicer, you can always grab a ruler and let's pretend like this is a ruler. It's obviously just a piece of paper, but you could set the ruler down and draw a straight edge to make it nice and straight. But if you don't have a ruler, that's okay. Let's make another mark on this corner. We'll connect this middle center down to that line. So we've got one triangle going this way. We'll go ahead and add little marks to these corners. And it's basically gonna be an upside down triangle or a V, because we're connecting this corner down to this bottom center. This corner down to bottom center. Perfect. Next, right here, I want you to write the word shape. So S-H-A-P-E. We'll come, oh no, this one here, Go ahead and do color, C-O-L-O-R. So you've got shape here, and you've got color here. For the next space, we're gonna write the word texture, T-E-X-T-U-R-E. Give you a moment to write that. So far we have shape, we have color, we have texture. Over here, we're gonna write the word value, V-A-L-U-E. Next, down here, we're gonna write the word space, S-P-A-C-E. So we have shape, we have color, we have texture, we have value, we have space. Moving on, this space is as part of the same one as color, so we'll just leave it because we know we're gonna add color there. Next, over here, we're gonna write the word form, F-O-R-M, form. And you can do this in pen or pencil. Pencil's kind of nice because you can erase it if you mess up. And then last but not least, we're gonna write the word line here. Today, we're just gonna do line, shape, and texture. I've also posted the pictures of the steps, so if you wanna go ahead and finish it with the steps, you can. Tomorrow, we'll do color, value, space, and form, okay? So for line, you can either keep your pencil or you can grab a pen or a black colored pencil or marker. I am actually going to erase the word line now just because I don't want it to interfere with my actual lines that I'm drawing. That's not required. I'm just doing it because I want it to look a little neater. So from this whole triangle is going to be where we draw different lines. So the first one, you're going to go ahead and draw, let's do 5 straight lines. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I'll do 4 up here and then 5. So 5 straight lines horizontally. We'll leave a little bit of space, maybe like a 2-finger space. We'll come back to that space and then go ahead and do little ocean wave lines. You can do them really distinct like that, or you can just do them more simple like this, whichever you prefer. And let's go ahead and maybe just add 2 more of those little wave lines. I think I'm gonna do a variation of the 2. And then in this space that we left blank, y'all, go ahead and just draw some vertical lines. Next, underneath the wave lines, maybe we want to just do some squiggly lines. So just kind of looping the lines and adding little loops. Multiple loops makes a squiggly line. Let's go ahead and add 2 more rows of these squiggly lines or looped lines. That's fine, but this is also pretty basic. So I'm gonna go back in, as y'all can see, and I'm gonna just do a line that traces on top of the squiggly line, just to give it a little more dimension and just a little more interesting composition, overall look of these lines and what this space will look like. Go ahead and do that. And if you want to do other lines, that's fine, as long as they're lines. Let's underneath go ahead and add some dashed lines. Maybe 1 more row of dashed lines. I might do 1 more on top just to fill in that space, so there's not too much empty space. A nice dashed line. We've already got a good variation and variety of different lines. Let's go ahead and add a zigzag line. Maybe another one with a little space in between. And let's do 1 more with a little space between. In this open space, let's go ahead and do some straight lines up and down. And then we could maybe just add some like geometric ones where it looks like we're making part of a shape, but it's really a line. That's kind of fun, huh? So it looks like I'm starting to make a rectangle, but then just continuing with the line. So go ahead and finish off this space with that. Or again, if you have a different type of line that you want to draw, maybe you want to do more squigglies. I do want to see at least 4 different types of lines, okay? So say you did horizontal, vertical, wave, squiggly lines. If you want to repeat those then, that's fine. But I want to see 4 different types of lines in this space. I'll just give you guys one more minute. Sorry, not one more minute, just a couple more seconds to go ahead and complete your lines over here. Next, we're going to move over into shape. For shape, instead of just drawing different shapes, I want you to think of a sort of picture that you could draw. For example, I did like a sun and star picture here. So I used a circle for the middle of the sun and then triangles. And then for the stars, I made some organic star shapes, but I also used diamond shapes. So that's one idea of something you can draw. For this one, I want us to draw a few different friends with using geometric shapes. So we're just gonna draw their bodies. We're gonna draw both some boys and girls. So let's do a triangle. You can color it in or leave it open, whichever you prefer. Let's do a triangle. Let's give a little space in between that triangle and do a rectangle. And you don't have to switch the colors, I just like to because I think it's interesting. Leave a little bit of space on the other side of this rectangle and do another triangle. And then one more space and we'll do one more tall rectangle and color it on in. From here, we can simply just add little circles to the tops of these shapes to add people. So it's like little friends hanging out. And then we can just draw really skinny rectangles for their arms and legs. So see how the rectangles or the triangles are the center of their body, and then we're using other shapes to create the outsides of their body. So we used a circle for the heads, and now we're just making small little skinny rectangles, narrow, very narrow rectangles for their arms and legs. It's just like 4 friends hanging out. I'm gonna just do a little bit of a dark so it looks like they're standing. If you add a little bit of shading around where their feet are, it makes them look like they're standing on ground. If you wanted to add a whole nother background, you sure can, but for time's sake, I'm just gonna leave it there. Now we're gonna move on to texture. There's a lot of different things we can do for texture. So as you can see, this one we just practiced lines. For our next photos, we're actually creating pictures. Whereas if you remember our first element of art drawing, it wasn't necessarily pictures we were creating, we were just drawing the shapes, drawing textures. Now we're utilizing these elements of art to create pictures. So for texture, I'm just gonna do a pretty simple one that makes some obvious texture. And I'm gonna do part of a round circle. We're gonna be doing very similar to my first drawing and drawing some cacti. So a cactus here, and here, and here. So we're gonna be drawing 4 cacti. So we're just gonna draw the outlines of our cacti first. Next, start to do a straight line up, curved line over, another curved line up, and then maybe another one on this side. And then we can do another rounded shape. We could also add a little round shape up here. Some of those cacti have these little pieces that have a little flower that we could draw. And then one more rounded piece here. Before we go into the pokey texture, go ahead and grab just another color of your choice and grab a couple little petals here. So it's like the flower on that cacti. Let's go back to our first one here. We're gonna go ahead and draw a curved line matching this side. We're gonna do one more curved line matching the other side and then a straight line down the middle. We're gonna go to this one now. Let's do one straight line down the mid, or on the side. So we're in the middle piece, one straight line on the side of the middle piece, another straight line on the other side, and then we'll add a couple more curved lines on these sides. And then for this one, let's do another curved line. Do you guys notice how these curved lines are helping make these shapes look more three-dimensional, and so they're helping give them more form? And then just add some roundness to this one. From there, you can go ahead and just draw a bunch of little spikes. So you're just basically adding a bunch of short little dashed lines all throughout the cacti to make it look prickly. Simple way to give the idea of texture with a two-dimensional drawing. Go ahead and add more to this one. And make sure you're adding these little lines inside, because cacti aren't just spiky on the outside, they're spiky on the inside too, right? And then next, if you still have all your colored pencils and you have a lighter green, you can go back in and color in with a lighter green. And again, this is all I'm gonna do for the video, but if you wanna go back in and add a background with a sun and really complete that, go ahead. We're gonna work on the other ones tomorrow, but again, I've shared the steps in photo format in your Google Classroom, so if you wanna move ahead today, you sure can, but if you wanna wait until you have time tomorrow, that's fine as well. Great job, students, and I look forward to seeing your artwork.